All right, we're live. We're live a little bit sooner than I was planning on being live, but I'm ready to go. I've got nothing else to do. I might as well go live. I don't think that my camera is going to last all that long, but while it is, here you go. I've got my fan on. My background's a little messed up. Got the fan here because it gets way too lately. It's been insane with how hot it has been here in Utah. It's dried out. That I think they've got like a ban. I don't know. I don't think it's completely statewide, but it's most everywhere on fireworks because they're worried about fires getting started, which happens. It seems like every year that happens. But this year, I don't know. It could be particularly bad. We'll see. And then I had to move my arcade. I didn't have to. I moved it out because we had a family party. That's the perfect time to have an arcade machine. So we pulled that out. Anyway, so here I am. We'll see how long the camera lasts. Roland's here. Hello. He says, can't stay long though. That's okay. I appreciate you dropping by. All the same. I invited some guests. For sure we're going to have Narwhal pop in. I started the stream early, so Narwhal will get here when he gets here, but I told him we'd start in about 11 minutes from now, so maybe he'll show up in about 11 minutes, but it's all good. I'm here. Why not? I'll get y'all warmed up. Sketchosaurus Rex is here. He says, hail. All right. Very cool. So I was saying in the last stream, I'm going to shave my head. And I got close. I didn't shave it all the way, but I got it real short. You want to see? How does that look? I think it looks just fine. And I realize nobody really cares. Like when it comes to other dudes, you hit a certain age, nobody cares. So it doesn't matter. But this is pretty nice. I don't have to do anything. I'm still gonna wear a hat though, because I like wearing hats anyway. But yeah, man, that's really short. It should be fun. All right. Yeah. Sweet Cast Luther. I should be able to get mind powers. I think isn't that how it works? If you sit in a wheelchair and you're bald, you have powers. Hicks Villains here. He says, sup. Hello. Very cool. So some updates. I've got foil stamps. Hold on. I've got a few things. Bald Riders Unite. That's right. It's like you ever get a new car and then you like it's a little different or something, or you think, I've never seen a car this color. And then every time you're driving around, you see that car everywhere. I had a Mini Cooper once. It was an old like 2003 Mini Cooper that I just happened to get. It was a little beat up, and I thought, does anyone drive a Mini Cooper? And then I saw them everywhere. It's the same thing with bald. Yeah, Hicksville says bald is better. It's the way to go. There's some, I don't know, you cling on to it, but it's better. I like it. Fan says, hey. Christopher John is here. Hello. Welcome. All right. So updates. Let me share my screen here real quick. And there we go. All right. So we're going to look at Earthbound, of course. Man, he is killing it. Killing it. It's been just over 24 hours for him. Not much over that, but man, he's killing it. This could very well be a 100K campaign. Absolutely possible. So we'll see how that goes. Submerged. I put a new, let's see. I'm going to go down here to stretch goals. I put a new one in because we didn't really have one for a while. We're going to add the sewn binding, which is really nice. I haven't done this before. It is on the Fatal book, but clearly that's not printed yet. So I haven't had one of my books with sewn binding in print yet. But Monster MD was done with a sewn binding. If you got any of the She books, those were done with a sewn binding, and it just makes it so you can open the book flat on a table. So that's the plan at 35K, which we're, let's see where we're at here. This is not accurate. Let me refresh this. We're at 34,992. That is incredibly close to 35,000. So one backer and that'll do the trick. So that will hit the stretch goal there. Tonight is the stream. We're going to write it out. I don't know if we're going to go all the full 6 hours or not. It's pretty late and I have to work tomorrow, but we'll see it out as far as I can. And I am going to extend the campaign. So don't panic. I've been getting a lot of emails about, wait, is this my last chance? We're going to extend the campaign, but it's a good way to get us back up in the algorithm, get people talking about Downcast. And if we get over 35K, that's a really good place to be. And then I'm going to extend the campaign for a 2-week period of time. So that's the plan. I have foils selected. I hope you guys like these. If you don't, it's been decided, but I'm going to unshare here. Oh, I got to get to the right screen. I've got foils selected. This blue guy right here is going to be the foil for the Matt Weldon cover. And it looks really, really nice because it's more of a green look on his cover, but there's these elements of blue in it, like in the smoke and other places. And this, when I compared it with it, looks really nice. I think y'all are going to like it. With Eric's cover, we went with gold. There were so many options of gold, and I realized this is just going to look like generic gold to you, but I think it's going to be nice. That particular gold went really well with his colors, I think. So I think it's going to be great. Also went with a gold, but it's a very different gold for the reprint version. I decided to go ahead and do a foil stamp for the reprint as well. I've got a lot of people buying reprints, so we're getting new readers, which is a fantastic feeling. So those are going to have a foil stamp as well, and UV gloss as well. It's going to be pretty nice. So we're going this. I can't go skimpy on the printing. I always think I'd be making more money if I skimped on printing. I can't do it though. I really like having nice quality books, and so I want to make sure you all have nice quality books. So I think it'll pay off long term, and so far it is paying off. I think people enjoy it. So let's see, get it to 35K back. Downcast, Submerged, K Manifesto gets it. It's posting links. We only need one more person to back it, and that'll get us there. There's no way one backer wouldn't be enough. You could get the cheapest thing and it'll still be enough for us to hit 35K. So you get the sewn binding. Rob's here. When do we get the book plates? They're coming. Once I start shipping out, we'll get the book plates. I do have to order those too. Excuse me. I've been ordering a lot of stuff lately for the campaign extras. Remember everybody that was backing within the first 24 hours, they were getting a poster and a trading card. And I have the trading card set that I have printed. They're being shipped right now. I haven't actually seen them. Were printed, got shipped directly over to our friend Spencer to do the wax packing. So he's going to be wrapping those. He did it last time. He did a fantastic job. So he's going to do those again. That's the process that's where we're at right now. What else? There's so much. I'm going over corrections on lettering. The lettering is finished. The first round of lettering, there's always things you have to do to change. There are a few things like placement. Can we move this balloon here? Or hey, the wrong person is saying the wrong line. Just little things like that. We just got to fix the tells, and then it's on to final editing phase. So realistically, I think this time next week, we will be finished with the lettering completely and with editing everything. I think that's very well could be the case. So it's been going pretty well. Let's see. What about trying double spined? What? Undon's, wait. Udon's done? Who's Udon? I don't even know who that is. Done it with recent hardcover books? I've never heard of double spined. That's interesting. I'd be curious to see what that looks like. I'm not protected here on Clint's channel. No, you're not. Of course not. Yeah, we're going to be looking at Earthbound. Andy Monster Productions is here. Let's see. Who else if I said hi to everyone? Guy from Red Bank is here. Hello. Fan is here. Foil, that's right. I think I'm caught up now. Who's your favorite Australian? Is that a question for me? That's not fair. You can't do that to me. I would have to tell you who's the guy that played Thor. Who's his younger brother? That guy. I don't know. I don't even know his name, but that guy. Eric's here. Hey yo. I know Eric's been busy, but Eric, if you're free, you're welcome to join. I dropped the link. So yeah, I think we're caught up. Orson Unwells is here also. John Malin says my body is ready. All right. Very good. Very good. All right. So that's where we're up. We've done a ton of things with the campaign, and I want to get it to the printer. That's where we're at. It's been really interesting. If I could go back and change some things, I almost would say, like, if I had the funding, I would do the lettering and the editing before we went to the campaign, because I'm kind of juggling both at the same time, which makes it busy, but it is also fun. I don't know. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe it doesn't really matter, but just an observation. All right, let's go check up on these again. We'll share audio now, so I don't forget it later. So Downcast Submerged. It's Downcast number 3 live on Indiegogo right now. Next backer, we'll make sure everybody gets a sewn binding. So if you haven't backed it, check it out. I should probably open up my email on another page here so I can see there. We did it. Thank you. Whoever pushed us over the edge, appreciate it. We're at 35K now, 700% exactly over the $5,000 goal. Still 6 hours left, and then we're going to extend the campaign. No surprises here, but it should be fun. So what's next? The next hill to climb is 40K. Now, in demand often gets lumped in with, the main part of the campaign, but the thing is, we're going to print, and the bulk of the shipping is going to happen before it's in demand time, right? So before we get out of the in demand phase, what I'd love to do is add a standee to all of the collector's bundles. So if you get a collector's bundle, maybe you back Kyung Lee's campaign. I think I've got it over here. Hold on 1 minute. There we go. When I say standee, this is what I mean. Kyung Lee sent one out. I did find a supplier. There's a glare. It's an acrylic base. It stands up. There you go. Two-sided. They have different versions that you can do. Andy Monster Production says, no, you don't want a standee. I mean, it'll just be added to it. Let's see. What was that? Remember to back Super Asian Fun Toy. I saw a little bit about that. I haven't really actually looked at the campaign, though. Maybe we'll look at it tonight. It could be fun. Rob says, I have 2 of those. Rob, were you making standees for your campaign as well? I think you were, huh? I start to get everyone's campaigns mixed up. But yeah, should be cool. So that's the plan. I think that'll be the next stretch goal at 40K. And I'm not saying, I mean, we could hit 40K tonight. I've got a conservative outlook on things. I think that's okay because we're extending the campaign. But yeah, regardless, once we hit 40K, I think I want to add standees to this collector bundle pack. That'll make me at a comfortable position to do that. And I don't know, think about something to add to the rest of them, but it could be fun. Narwhal, how's it going, man?
It's going good. Thanks for having me. How are you doing, Clint?
I'm good. I was just here, so I decided I'll just start the stream. I'll get it for you. So
yeah, nice. Thanks.
Dude, your campaign is this the best campaign start you've had ever?
I think so. Like, yeah, because my old record was Foreign Agent. I got to launch it on Ethan's stream, and it was just me and Ethan for like an hour. And I remember I was drinking and I got super wasted, but it was kind of, I mean, it was fun and awesome. But I think we hit like 13K on day 1, and that blew my mind. But this one, yeah, like doubled that almost. So this is 499 did like 40K, but that's with your boy Zach, So this is amazing.
Yeah. This is I'm floored. This is a really good start. And it hasn't even been 2 days. It's been what, 30 hours, something like that?
Yeah. I launched it at 10 a.m. So yeah, I'm Yeah, I can't. I'm still like processing it, and I'm sure you can relate. It's kind of funny how when you launch a campaign, you do. I think you get kind of high from like dopamine or
Yeah.
something, and then as it tapers off, and then you actually have a little bit of depression. And it doesn't matter. Like you can be totally aware and like grateful and everything, but you still feel like, oh, it's ending.
Yeah, it definitely, it feels like a come down on the from the high of the campaign.
Yeah, and it's funny, we only get to do this like twice a year or like even once a year. And so I'm definitely relishing it. And yesterday I was streaming all day. I'm streaming with you, and then I might be on Jack's show tonight. So I'm having fun kind of getting out there.
Very cool. Well, I'm proud of you. This is one of those things, like I have a list of people that I really have looked at their, like you were one of the creators I looked at when I first got into Indiegogo. Well, it was like first got into Comicsgate, but not just that. I didn't, the timing of everything was weird. I started a YouTube channel before I knew about any of Comicsgate stuff, and I just wanted to speak my mind. That was it. But then I discovered the lawsuit, and I started looking at all these campaigns, and yours was one that was up there that I thought, oh, this, like, here's an example of a guy that's not a mainstream creator as far as I could tell, you know. And so I was watching you really carefully because it was like, you know, the first you think you have to have you know, some DC experience under your belt or Marvel experience to do this kind of stuff. But your I think it was Earthbound, I don't know which Earthbound campaign, the first one I saw, and I thought, oh, here's a guy he's doing it. So I don't know, maybe I can do it too.
Yeah, I'm kind of what, there's a handful of us that just went all just from the very beginning, from the ground up, starting at the bottom, and even Earthbound, like I did one campaign for it that was a floppy version pre Comicsgate, like a year before Comicsgate happened, and that was still in that realm of where I'm like hitting up friends and family just so it can creep past $2,000 or something, you know. And then and I hadn't quite learned how to fulfill, like that time I like duct taped around the comic bubble wrap and then put it in like a manila envelope. I didn't know you could buy even like envelopes with the bubble wrap already there or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like, so we're all learning early, and I did some of the learning before, like, yeah, real Comicsgate was really hitting. But I remember, yeah, I did some fan art of Cyberfrog, got on with Ethan kind of early, and Ethan said something like, he's like, in the backstage, he's like, things are going to be different for you from now on. And I made that night maybe like, you know, it was like 500 in 1 hour. So back then that was like completely blew my mind. I was working full time at the Fred Meyer Deli, and I went part-time like shortly after that. And then Earthbound came out, got a good review from your boy Zach, and it sold even more. And then I quit Fred Meyer. So
you're doing comics full time now?
Yeah, I'm like a full-time
so cool
comic artist. And what's kind of fun about where I'm right on the cusp of like having like a budget to like sink just back into comics, like at like, you know, thousands of dollars maybe, because I'm thinking one thing I want to do is try and fund a comic where I'm just the writer. And like, you know, I'd be doing a little bit more like, yeah, in your realm than like trying to meet a good trustworthy artist and work with them. And I'm trying to kind of figure that out.
Yeah, no, that's cool. There's something I could see benefits from both. I mean, you're in a good place because you can do both. So it's like that's pretty great. But yeah, it's crazy because the first time around, like with hiring Nacho for Downcast 1, it was like, I don't have money. I was selling Magic cards. I don't remember everything. I sold an electric guitar. What's one of my goals is to buy another electric guitar after this campaign, just like to say like I made it back. It was a worthy investment, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like not having the funds to invest in it, or the confidence, you know what I mean, to invest in artists. And I've done it before for like little 8-page pitches I did for Image. That used to be like my number one dream again, but well before Comicsgate. That's all I was doing was sending in submissions, and I'd never hear back. Which, you know, maybe I wasn't ready, and maybe I'm kind of glad that I didn't get any work at Image anyway. So, but now it's like getting it funded funds more than just the book. You know, like it funds the next book. It gives you a little bit of confidence, a better position to get in there, and you have a better idea of what kind of artists you can hire. And it really is amazing.
Yeah, and you're learning, or you're not terrible at drawing, and you're getting better in practicing that too, right?
I'm working on it. I don't know that I'm not terrible yet, but you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't think it necessarily takes too long. This wasn't. For me, it kind of did take long, but I know the motivational story is Jim Lee's story, where he like graduated from college and he told his parents, give me 1 year to just try and be an artist before I have to be like an engineer or whatever. So he lived with his parents for a year and he drew every day for a year, like 8 hours a day or something. But he did it in 1 year. He became a master and then got all famous and stuff.
There are a few examples like that where people got really good really quickly. Michael Turner, that's another real example. I don't know how long it actually took him, but just I watched a documentary about him and everyone was like, he got so good so fast. That's the way that they worded it. And I don't know, that is definitely inspiring. But there's something to I think I have the capability of being a capable artist. It's just you have to put the time into it, or I could see that where there's a deadline or something, like this is my shot to, like in Jim Lee's case, this is my shot out of here. So there's no failure's not an option,
Yeah, there's almost like a logistical problem of like how much time can you even spend on the drawing? Because there's a point where you could sit down and spend 8 hours and do an amazing drawing that people love, but Jim Lee got so he could do a page a day or whatever, and that takes a whole nother side of your brain to even figure that out. So it kind of helps from like getting like what they getting forged in fire can kind of help with that. Like you kind of have to, so you're learning fast, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. So I'm curious to ask about your creative This is when people start tuning out when you talk about creative process, but I'm very interested in yours because your books are always long. You know what I mean? Compared to what you're normally seeing on crowdfunded campaigns.
Yeah.
And so you've got to have a process down pretty well to get art out consistently.
Yeah, I had a little bit of that like forge and fire thing. And I feel like that is actually kind of what created my style. And that might be for a lot of people is like one way to define style, and how you get it is kind of like the problem solving that comes up just from jobs. And so I actually had one kind of real comic job before Comicsgate. I had just turned like 30. And that's right when I coincidentally started work on Earthbound. But then I got this job where I went to a convention, met a journalist, and he liked my art. I gave him my card. He emailed me 2 weeks later, and he's like, I have a book deal with a guy who served as a medic in Afghanistan, and it's his memoir that we're adapting. We had an artist line up, but he fell through, and we're going to lose our book deal unless we find a new artist fast. Can you do it? And I was like, yes. He's like, can you draw and color 90 pages in a year and letter it? And I was like, yes. I had never done anything like that. And so then he's like, later on, he's like, oh, by the way, it's 120 pages. And I was like, yes, sure. So I actually ended up putting out like a Craigslist ad in India at one point to get a little help with the flatting. And I had some kind of assistance, and I like jumped in, and I ended up redrawing later. All the first 20 pages almost, I think, got completely redrawn. But by then I had this style kind of developed that is in like all my books, where I'm like, oh, I'll do the background lines on semi-transparency to make it the characters pop out from the background, and do kind of flat cell shading colors with 10% lighting for highlights, and focus on good perspective when I can, like fisheye lenses or whatever, dynamic perspective, wide lenses style, and gesture kind of pose stuff that I like. Because that was always something where I'm like, why do I like my sketches more than my finished drawings? I always think that. A lot of people kind of think that, but for me, I was kind of like, well, shit, I am not going to finish them if I like my sketches more or whatever. At least I was going more and more in that direction.
Yeah. Well, there's I don't know, from my perspective, there's a big component of lighting, I think, that like if I'm going to sort of break it down a little bit here, there's a lighting element, and I guess that's all in the colors, that it makes it look cinematic, or I don't know, like it makes it bigger. You know what I mean? Like if you looked at the line art in and of itself, it's like, it's very simple, but at the same time, where the lighting is and everything, it all makes it look like I don't know how to describe it. You could be drawing something extremely detailed. Like I've never seen you draw anything extremely detailed, but I believe that you could.
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
like, do you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. It's like it shows me that there's a deliberate decision. Sorry, I'm fumbling over that. Having a hard time describing it, but
yeah, but I think that is true. And like the line work, this was kind of, I guess, part of what I figured out on that first job too, is like, what I don't want to do is repeat myself, where like, if the coloring is going to imply the form, I don't want the lines to imply the form. So then I'm like, okay, just the lines are to hold the coloring then. And it's true. Like if you take the coloring away, it actually doesn't work as a comic until you add the coloring. Like, and I've since kind of found little ways where I can do kind of a manga black and white minimalist style, but then I use gray fills and gradients to still kind of define the shapes. And I use a little more black. I'm trying to do a little bit more of that, of like, like solid blacks here and there and thick and thin lines a little bit more when I can, but yeah.
No, and I've seen, I mean, you've posted a few images of Nosferatu online. So I know that that's no secret that that's coming, but in there, it's a lot of grayscale and everything, but it's the lighting. Like for me, it really comes down to the lighting. But it's I don't know, it's really cool style. Again, it was one of the first ones I was looking at, like, okay, this guy, he's one of me, you know what I mean? Or like he's, a few steps ahead of me, but like maybe I can get there. So it's just really cool to see you've been growing a lot, working with your boy Zach, putting out, I mean, how many books have you published now?
Yeah, it's been like Earthbound, Foreign Agent, 499, and this one. So like 4 now. And I got, I guess to answer your question too, from earlier, I started Earthbound when I was 30. I'm 35 now. So I've got a little bit of like a rolling thing going, and that might eventually run out. But like, even now, like, Nosferatu's done. So I'll be able to launch that. And while I'm doing that, I'm drawing something else and I'm launching something else. I have a collection of shorts that are mostly done too. So I have content to kind of keep rolling out, and I'm trying to draw. It's like building the train tracks while you're on the train. But then because the style is kind of minimalist, I can do like, if I'm not also fulfilling or writing or whatever, I can do like a page a day, like full the way through, like draw it and color it kind of thing.
That's great, man. Yeah. I've been dabbling with drawing. I'm not going to show any more of the stuff I've drawn. I'm just going to put it out when it's finished. But I definitely see a little bit, like there's something to being under a deadline that makes you problem solve quickly. I imagine it's like being in prison. If you're in prison and you got to figure out how to make a tattoo or something, like those guys it's amazing, like the stuff that they come up with out of necessity. But I think maybe there's a bit of that too. I always, even with writing, when I have deadlines, for some reason I write better. Like like writer's block is not an option.
Yeah, that's cool. I remember that feeling too, of when you're trying to break into the industry, because I parallel you in that way too. Or I was kind of trying to do that for like 10 years, kind of unsuccessfully. But I was thinking like, damn, I'm competing against pros, and like they're drawing every day because they're getting paid to draw. So
Yeah.
like, how do you even catch up to them? And it's like, you have to, for art, you know, you kind of have to find a way to make the time. And I had one little, like, for me in my 20s, for a couple of years, I lived with my parents. And for a couple of years, I lived in Tucson, Arizona. And that was a cool situation because Tucson, for some reason, the cost of living is really low. So I just worked part-time at a movie theater, and that was enough money to pay rent and buy food. So I still had a lot of time to work on art and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it looks good. I'm going to refresh this. I don't know where we're at, but there you go. Yeah, you're still moving. That's good. Do you have, I mean, it's kind of hard I don't know if you want to say your goals out loud, but do you have a goal for this campaign that you want to share?
Yeah, well, so with it in mind that this is like semi unrealistic and lofty, it was something that crossed my mind that this could be a potential 6-figure campaign. And maybe it'd have to be open and in demand for a while to kind of get that close. But because just like logistically, again, I think because it's a part 1 and a part 2, so I'm going to have a lot of people buying in both books instead of just one. So
Yeah,
that alone can kind of speed it up a little bit.
absolutely. I think it's possible. Like it's still within the first 48 hours and 30K. I'm sure you'll hit 30K by what would be tomorrow morning, I think would be 48 hours. So
yeah. And then it'll slow down at some point, and then I'll lick my wounds just for a day or two and then get back out there and promote it some more.
Yeah. You kind of have to be zen. I went and bought, I don't know if it helps at all, but I bought these supplements that are supposed to help with stress. And I was like taking them a few days before and like all throughout the launch period. And it's like, I just have to, it's tough because you want to hit those goals, but at the same time, you got to like just chill out about it, you know?
Yeah. But I'm in a lucky space now because it's like exceeding all expectations. So I'm just kind of enjoying it for now. Like I didn't really expect this at all. So this is awesome.
Yeah. Fantastic start. So check out everyone Earthbound 2 on Indiegogo. I did read the digital version of the first one, but I wanted a hard copy. So I went ahead and backed hard copy and the new one. So it'll have the matching set. I don't know, that it just makes me feel better that way. I like it.
Yeah.
So,
thanks.
You bet. Yeah. So check it out. Downcast. Just to remind everybody, it's up here. We have 6 hours left. I should probably refresh that just for the time's sake. It might. There we go. 5 hours left. And at 40,000, I'm going to add a standee to this collector's bundle for everyone that has supported me there. So that's the goal. We are going to extend it tonight. So don't stress out, but feel urgent. I don't know. That's the weirdest sales pitch ever, but I'm really excited about this. Eric went through and lettered it, and he responded with, "Oh, by the way, Downcast 3 was awesome." And that was the first feedback from a reader that I had, like for the finished book, clearly.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it made me feel really good because he doesn't always say that. So I was like, yes, because I knew, like, I really think people are going to love the book. It's just a massive improvement for me.
Is part 3 wrapping up the arc kind of?
So it's actually starting a new arc. So Downcast 2 sort of wrapped things up. I know that there were a few sort of loose ends, but I wanted to really wrap it up as well as I could. So that's basically the origin for, you know, Downcast. It's the origin of everything. And then this is sort of the big major next story arc. And I tried to look at it like I just got hired on to write for this existing series. So I'm going to start from scratch. You got to honor what came before, you know, so it's in continuity. And I'm just pretending that I'm Frank Miller taking over Daredevil. That was my mindset. And I think that was the key. It was just total freedom to just make it awesome. So cool. I think it really showed for it.
Was this a creative situation where you didn't have it all that planned? So, and you did have a little bit of a deadline kind of thing?
It was weird. So they were self-imposed deadlines. Yeah, Eric, I'm going to be on for a little while. If you come on later, no big deal. So the way that it worked out is I set a schedule for Nacho and for myself. So I broke it up. It's 3 issues long, like what will be 3 alternate issues. And I said, I'm going to get you the first script by this date. We had it all in the contract. You're going to have the first 10 pages done by this date. And then the second, it was the first half of the first script by this time, second half by this time, you will receive script number 2 on this date. So I broke it down like that. And I tried to treat it as though I was a comic book writer working on a monthly issue sort of thing. So
cool.
So yeah, they were self-imposed, but the way that I held myself to it is that Nacho needed more script to draw for like his next section. So it felt more important. Like I couldn't let the deadline slide.
Yeah, that's not purely made up deadline. Then that's kind of real for sure. Cool.
Yeah, if I just say I'm going to get it done by December, it's like
yeah, because then you're holding up the whole process line or whatever.
Yeah.
Did that come from getting the Alterna deal? Is when you're like, oh, this is not just a single story, this is like a series, and then is that kind of the big moment where you're like, got to start thinking of lots of stories now or something like that?
Yeah, I had bigger ideas for it, for sure, but I didn't know if it was going to be a crowdfunded book and I'd be able to do one if I was lucky, So yeah, I was always prepared to make an exit strategy in writing the first 2 books, so that it would have some resolution. But with the Alterna deal, then I thought people are going to be reading this as single issues. I specifically went and bought Frank Miller's omnibus on Daredevil, because the more I thought about doing an ongoing series, the more I thought, if I do one, I want one to do one like that.
Yeah,
the story just flowed, and what did each of the issues do? So I spent a lot of time reading through that and sort of paying attention to how he formatted a single issue. What made this issue so great, and like even on the issues that weren't the best issues, they were still good issues.
Yeah.
What were those elements that he had that sort of built the bigger story? So yeah, a totally different perspective on this one, because I really thought of it as this is an ongoing series.
Cool. So it is like the challenge, because this is something I don't do that I'm actually really interested in, though, is like you have 2 goals. Like one is to have the single issue be good, and then you also have to make the overall story be good too. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I recently read 2 of the trades in the Frank Miller Daredevil run, and I love them. One was Born Again, and one was maybe it's the one where I get them mixed up. Oh, it's just The Man Without Fear or whatever. It's just kind of like the regular. But yeah, it's so good. And it's like when you're reading it, you don't exactly notice when the issues end or begin. It flows like a movie, but then they're there, and it does work, as single issues too. So that's cool.
Yeah, and if you read it all as a collection, I don't think they feel like chapters that sort of move along. But when you force yourself to think about this is a single issue that somebody got, it might be their first issue. Who knows? Like what are the components that make it good? And I think the reason why some of those, how now that it's more like they're writing for trades, you've heard that terminology bouncing around. But I don't know. I think that there's something to be said for writing it as an ongoing series. And like you still have story arcs and elements that you'll have payoff moments later on in the run. But I don't know. There's something about it that it just keeps the pace going. It's fun. You don't have a whole issue of people just standing around talking.
Yeah, that that reminds me of it. Just 2 is even like what we grew up on is like the X-Men animated series, and it's like every comic issue is a half an hour TV show, and it's like certain issues now you'd be like, that could not be a half-hour TV show. Nothing happened, and it's kind of fun to have those dents where it will have a whole story structure just in 20 pages. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, for that reason too, I think it'd be fun to do a one shot for anything, but where you just do a one shot and you're like, I got to have a complete, 3-act structure. This one issue, how am I going to accomplish that? I think it's a good exercise, but then also it sort of forces you to just put the important stuff. What are going to be the things people remember? So yeah, I don't know. It's been a ton of fun to write things this way, and it'll be interesting again that Dracula is going to be very different. It'll be more of what's like a one shot, I guess. I really want to have be a single story that resolves.
Oh yeah. How many pages are you planning for that one?
It'll be between 48 and 60 pages, I think. I'm still working on sort of the brainstorming phase. I kind of went back to the drawing board a couple times after having, I don't know, I've been inspired for different things. So I thought I'm going to revisit what I've been doing. So it's not set in stone yet, but I want to start working on it probably this fall pretty seriously to make sure I've got the script done. So
do you have a artist for that, and is it top secret?
Right now, everything's top secret. I talked with an artist, and it's been a crazy year. So I need to touch base with him again and see how things were going. Initially, I was like, "Let's get started in January." And he's like, "Okay," and then I said, "We can't start in January because Charlie was having all of the family emergencies he had going on, and so I was like, I had to stop it because I didn't want to have to finance it ahead of time along with Downcast. I just was worried things weren't going to work out. So we put it on hold. So I got to check back and see how things are going with him. But
yeah, cool.
We'll see.
Richard Cahill says in the chat, you can have long stories that are full of incident. Pacing for the trade is taking a 1 to 2 issue story and stretching it out to 6 with filler. I forgot about that term. I've heard that before. Now that you mention it, pacing for the trade, and that how that can be like a negative thing. And like, yeah, like on the flip side of like maybe a positive way, because you maybe can do like a story where it's like not meant to be broken up in issues and it is meant to be. And that's almost a little bit, because I don't necessarily conceptualize issues. And I guess that is like, I kind of think of it like cinematic, and I think of like set pieces, and I sometimes think of like time, like if it's real time or if it's moving fast. And if it's moving real time, then you're kind of really, it will be kind of a lot of pages. A manga can kind of do that where it's like, 60 pages for an action scene or even longer, that's kind of more like real time progression.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pacing, and it's okay. Like if you're doing, and I want to do that. I want to do a graphic novel that's specifically meant to be a graphic novel, like 100 pages of just like, that is the story. But it is helpful to know, like going into it, that's the plan,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I can imagine it would be fun kind of writing straight ahead where you have a plan, but you have to kind of plan as you go too. And just doing that episodically, and what would come up would be kind of fun. Whereas like, yeah, if you do just a controlled 100 or 200 page story, you kind of want to be a perfectionist, but it can flow and be episodic and kind of fun and awesome. That's a little bit more like manga, I imagine too, where they can go, they set up their big goal, and then like Berserk was like that, where like, when is Guts going to finally kill Griffith? And it just goes on forever. And it's kind of cool. Like,
yeah, and then you got a whole new set of rules. Like with each issue you've published, then you look back and say, well, this happened in that last issue, so we're starting from here. And of course you have an idea. And yeah, that's why with Downcast 3, that's how I wrote it, one issue at a time, versus the first 2 books where I wrote them as whole books. I tried to make a nice little something in the middle so that we could have it broken up into alternate issues, and it would work okay. But this is like from conception to be built that way. So I don't know. It's fun. It's kind of amazing how many ways there are to approach the same medium,
Yeah. That reminds me, when you mentioned the middle point too, is with Earthbound 1, because it was never really meant to be broken up into 2. Like Earthbound Part 2 it's all one story, but I got in some ways like lucky, but it happened like in hindsight, it's like, oh, that's good that was there, but it's because it is structured, like there is structure to the script basically. So there is a big like reveal plot point right in the middle. And I was like, oh, I can just end it there, because I wasn't sure. And when I saw that, I was like, it's like, I think that's what Tarantino said about Kill Bill, even he didn't know that he was going to split it into two until he like saw like, oh yeah, there's a break right in the middle, just naturally. And a lot of times stories will have that, like the little midpoint flip or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it works out really well. Again, my first two books, it worked. Like, you know, and I tried to make sure that there was like a little cliffhanger, but it kind of works the same as a page turn, you know, like you want to turn the page to see what's happening next. And then
yeah,
you're out of pages. So you got to go to the next issue, but
I know
it's fun. Sometimes
like it's cliffhangers can be so effective that I don't like them sometimes. I'm like,
you gotta pay it off though too. I've been watching Alias. It's been a little while, but I've been watching it with my wife a little bit. You ever watched that from the early 2000s?
Yeah, it's Jennifer Garner, maybe.
Yeah. And it was, I didn't realize, but you look at the credits, it was produced by oh gosh, I can't remember his name. The guy that did the last Star Wars movie,
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams. Yeah, he produced it. So this was before Lost, and he still had a lot of the same stuff where it's like great cliffhangers, but then you get to this point where you're like, you're not paying it off. Like I need a payoff, you know, at some point. So I don't know. I think about that a lot because that's one of the things that bothers me so much in any kind of storytelling is when it's just not satisfying when there's no payoff. So I don't know. It's like, you gotta, have people turn the pages, but you have to have something to reward them, you know, for doing it so much.
Yeah.
So how did you get connected with your boy Zach to work with him?
Yeah, it was like a while ago now. It was like a couple years ago almost, but he liked Earthbound, and I had reached out to him before that, and we had kind of exchanged. I was just one of the artists that he might one day work with. And just, I'd send him art here and there, and he'd, you know, but we like barely corresponded. And, but then he liked Earthbound. So then he was much more open with me. We started chatting quite a bit via email. And, then we kind of got that idea of collaborating on 499, and that process of collaboration kind of became its own brand. And that's what became Narzak. And he wanted to keep going. So we have a couple other collaborations that we're planning that will be fun. And the Narzak brand is like weirder even than like my brand, you know, like I think he likes working with me. It's fun for him to like really take off the chains or whatever and cut loose.
Yeah. So you can tell when he talks about like 499, for example, he's really excited about it. Zach's one of the guys I really look up to. I email him from time to time. We have very, very brief interactions, but I kind of like it that way because I can, I don't know, like you have this tendency to sort of build people up that you see on YouTube, you know what I mean? And then it's like, I don't know, I kind of like that he's sort of the last remaining person that is still a YouTuber to me, that I watch his videos, or I've watched for years, you know?
Yeah.
But he's a cool guy too. So, but I did the process of co-writing. I've done that a couple times, and every time I do it, I think I'm never going to do this again. I hate co-writing, but how do you make it work?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Cause there's with your boy Zach, and there's also, I've co-written 2 scripts also, kind of just for fun. And I don't know, like, cause my instincts are that I wouldn't like it either, but I actually do like it if you get the right co-writer and the right relationship. And I think there's a guy named Nathan Chen, he's Back to the Drawing Board on Twitter, and he's not like famous yet, or like super well known in Comicsgate, but I think he might be sooner or later, cause he is a really talented writer. And he and I have co-wrote 2 scripts now together, and they're kind of just sitting there. Eventually I'll try and make them into comics, but I really enjoy working with him. And I just say with that one, for some reason well, I pay him a little bit of money. So I'm kind of the boss, and neither of us have big egos. So that kind of works. I can like tell him what I think. He can tell me what he thinks. And then in the case with your boy, Zach, we kind of just batted around via email a lot. And then we did even POD. That one was like, he sent me a very detailed like script outline, and then I just wrote the script, and then we chimed back and forth on that. So it was a lot of just brainstorming via email, and then kind of the same with 499. And then there was a partial version that I wrote, and he wrote the final version. And yeah, he was I mean, I think he's getting a lot of feedback, and I kind of agree that I think 499 is his best writing so far. I'm really enjoy it.
I have it. I need to read it. It's sitting right there, but I'm like, I got to get through this campaign. I can't wait to read it. Yeah, it's cool to see people progressing, and like we're just developing new talent. And I've already seen him improve quite a bit. Your stuff has always seemed pretty mature to me. Like your craft seems very mature. From I don't know, Earthbound 1.
Yeah. Really. I'm trying to improve, but it's like hard with art because like I was talking with Bancroft about this. Like my brain doesn't work in certain ways. So like sometimes it always ends up looking like the way it looks. And I'm like, all right, but within the way it looks, can I like just get better at like, I want to just get better at drawing because my art does split people. And I'm like, how can I split less people? Like I want more people liking it, and I kind of know what I got to do, but it's like, I'm still trying to figure that out. And it's been a little bit of a learning process, but I'm slowly improving. I think if you look at my old art, and with Earthbound, what's kind of funny is with that one, I redrew a fair amount of pages on that one too. So somewhere there's like the old art, very first 20 pages of Earthbound that aren't even really out there. But
yeah, it makes sense. It was, I don't know, it was a really interesting book. I like the first one. I will refresh it now too, but oh, there you go, 29,000.
Oh wow.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Jumping up. Excellent.
Keep my high alive.
Yeah. We gotta, by the end of this campaign, Narwhal will be having dopamine withdrawals. It'll be awesome. So
I'll be showing up like yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I posted that in the link. I have to get a drink. My mouth is getting terribly dry, but you want to pitch the book to the chat and then I'll come right back.
Yeah, I'll pitch to the chat.
Cool.
So chat, Earthbound. What I think a couple reasons why people really are kind of responding to it and enjoy it is the idea of the R types. And there are these two guns that you can shoot someone with the gun and they are forced to join your team. In the book, I say that you jack their free will. And these two bounty hunters come to Earth armed with these two R types. One's purple, one's green. So it's kind of like purple team, green team. And you could conceivably shoot like Joe Biden or something and then run the US. Or actually, you might have to shoot like whoever controls Joe Biden. And then you could like run the US. But so the possibilities are like there just already. And then the story plays out specifically with what Julia and Spaceman would do with these guns in order to get their goal, which is to recruit the Sirens of Violence. And there's 4 of them, and they're in a competition with each other. So whoever recruits more of the 4 earns their freedom. And then you might think like, well, what if they both get 2? So their boss thought that too, the 13th sponsor who they work for. And they say, all right, there's a 5th target appointed as a tiebreaker, and he's WizKid. And he's on Earth, hiding out on Earth, and he's an estranged teammate of theirs, and they all have a past. So that all kind of starts to play out. A lot of that's part 1 there, but there's still kind of a lot of questions about the sirens and stuff. And part 2 is like, it builds up to like a huge action scene and some answers and conflict with the sirens and some shenanigans with the R types and stuff like that. And it wraps up completely in part 2. And there's something I've said too before that I like about part 2 is that the climax, it climaxes visually in like 3 or 4 different ways, but it's kind of spoilery, so I can't say more than that, unfortunately. But yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, check it out on Indiegogo right now. Let's help Narwhal. I don't know, 30,000. I don't know. I want to set a goal for you for the first 48 hours, but you're doing fantastic. So I'd love for you to hit 30K tonight, and then I can claim credit for it.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting the Sweetcast boost, and I enjoy it. It's fun to talk to you too I mean, it reminds me, I want to stream more. Actually, I had a thought too the other day where I was like, I think I want to like shift a little bit more importance in my life to like online friendships. Cause that's the future where I love friendships where I can actually relate creatively. And I'm starved for that a little bit in real life. And I have some great friends. I'm back in my hometown right now and living with a buddy, and it's like very awesome. But I'm like, I kind of miss just shooting the shit with artists. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. I don't talk to anybody that writes around here. Every once in a while, I had a mentor for a while, kind of. I guess I would call her a mentor. It's my wife's aunt. But she's a really good writer, and she would like really helped me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have. It's like I would try to find a writers group. Did you ever do that? Like a writers group? They do it a lot for just fiction in general. But I was like, I want a writers group, but I want one that's specific to comics.
Yeah.
And no, there's like nobody, it was just not happening here. So I gave up.
Yeah. I've tried it, and it's like, what do you even do if you can, like, I did a show way kind of early on called The Writer's Room, and it was a lot of like who's who of kind of fun people early on too. And like Vaughn was part of it, but I don't know, like what we did like creative, like wrote some shorts, brainstormed them live, I guess. But even that's like fun, but not, it's kind of like gimmicky, and it's not necessarily the best YouTube content. But I don't know, like, yeah, even I like talking like, yeah, with you just even about like our process and stuff
just
like that.
Sort of general stuff. Yeah. Writing doesn't make for good YouTube content like drawing does. Like I love watching people draw, and it doesn't matter what they talk about, but it's just fun to have that be part of the process. I don't know, writing is so slow and boring, and I don't know, but the process, I guess, is to me the interesting part. I don't know, I eat up that kind of content.
Yeah, there's a YouTube, it's like The Hollywood Reporter, but they do roundtable videos sometimes with like writers or film directors, and I like those videos whenever they come out a lot of times.
I think I've seen a few of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. It's interesting to hear, just people's process. And when I hear it, like at first, I was so isolated, I think, with writing that I didn't really know if I was doing it correctly. Like, or is this process? I feel like I should be doing it a different way. But then when you hear from other writers and some of just the interesting ways that I had this idea and I went with it, and like. They're like, wow, I thought like so much genius came behind this, but it was more of just like trusting or believing that like this is a funny idea, like just believing that it is, because it's never going to get funnier the more you think about it. It's going to get less funny.
Yeah, that's probably one of the main things that separates people who end up writing and people who don't, is everyone starts in a vacuum with a level of self-doubt, and then like they'll just kind of power through, and then it becomes normal however you did do it. And you can be stuck with, some fun like stylistic things or whatever that develop from that. Yeah.
It's interesting because I don't know, you mentioned earlier too with writing that the co-writing situations you've been in that worked, no one had an ego, and that was part of why it worked.
Yeah.
It's weird because, well, for me anyway, it seems like you have to have this really high level of confidence to be that vulnerable and write something and put it out there and assume people are going to like it. Like that takes a lot of guts to do that. But at the same time, you have to be like, your ego will get shattered so quickly.
Yeah. Everyone's probably goes through like some experience too, where, that does happen. And then that you kind of got to keep going. You get humbled a little bit or whatever. I'm sure, I guarantee that happened to me. And like, even like I can look at my old writing and it'll be like cringy, like I did a comic when I was a senior in high school, and it was like about a senior boy who was like a virgin, but turns out that he's the chosen one of the universe and all the girls have to have sex with them or something. And I was like, dude, what the hell? That was like my fantasy or whatever. I was like, this is so bad. And I was like 18 years old. I'm like, Orson Welles was 25 when he made Citizen Kane. I'm like,
it's his first movie, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. So like I'm at the I've been starting to get a little bit more attention just locally here that wait, this guy's doing comics, and one of my neighbors looked at one of my campaigns and was like, what's happening? So like I've been getting a little bit of attention, which has been kind of nice, and I have to explain, like how that's not all my money, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I've got this guy, he's actually quadriplegic, and he lives down the street from me, and he's had a really tough life. He's in college, and he's nonverbal, and so he's working on writing a screenplay, because it's like he does some art. He's very limited with what he can do, but he does some writing, and so he's like, "Can I send you my screenplay and get some feedback?" Because he's right in that stage where he's in a vacuum, and I was like, "Sure." Usually I say no, but I couldn't say no. So I read through his screenplay, and it's really amateur. And that's the cool part, though, is like that he sent it to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think back, like, man, I was such a terrible writer when I started out, but I almost want to tell him, like, I want to be honest with him. Razvaz says steal his ideas. I'm not gonna do that. I want to tell him, like, great job, put it away and just write something else. Like the best advice I could think of is not to polish this thing. Like, just, that's great. Like, you did an awesome job. Put it away and just write something else. Like, start the next thing.
You can read it later and appreciate it or something. That was my process. I think I wrote like 15 or 16 or 17 like movie screenplays that were terrible. And then I wrote like Earthbound was like the first one that was like pretty good.
Yeah, I wrote one screenplay. I didn't know what I was doing with screenplay, but I started with novels, and my first one is just terrible. Like, it's so bad.
Yeah.
But I went the route of, like, I'm just going to keep polishing this thing until it gets good. But it's like, you're not going to get there.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you've done so far is fine. But so I don't know. It was just moving on and writing something else, I think, is a good way to progress. Start from a new idea conception. But
I could see it'd be valuable just to finish it so your brain knows what it's like to like write every day, or like to be 10 pages in and know you still have like 190 pages to go or whatever. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I did finish it. I published it. That was probably the mistake, but it was I self-published it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was I don't know. I do think it's good, though, to just say I wrote a novel. Like, you're capable of doing it,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. You have to write some garbage first to get to the good stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at these campaigns again. So we're still moving on Downcast. 629 backers now. 5 hours left. If you haven't backed it, check it out.
Oh, cool. This is your epic last day, so you'll get a good boost. It's going to go nice.
Yeah, this is the last day. So I'm extending the campaign, but we'll milk it while we're at it, because this does put us back up onto the trending list alongside Earthbound, actually. So that's helpful.
Cool.
But yeah, check it out. I was looking at the last Downcast campaign at the end of 30 days. We've already beat the money raised, but the backer number was like 660 for the first 30 days on Downcast 2. So I would really love to match that / beat it. It's doable. But yeah, I want to see where we go. I think that would be helpful. So yeah, if you haven't backed it yet, check it out. I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to just have people read it and see what it is. This is the first book where I feel like I don't know, I'm not an imposter. I feel like I've done this enough. Like, I'm here. I'm just trying to put out the best possible stuff that I can. And I've really been thinking about it, that I'm competing against mainstream comics. I want to destroy them with story quality. So much fun. I loved writing this.
It looks like it's got underwater stuff, I guess, right? That's kind of awesome.
There's a little bit of that, not a lot. But that's where the main character comes from. My backup story that I'm drawing, my 8-page backup story takes place in the ocean / under the ocean. And so that's probably the most under the water stuff. There's a little flashback, which is on this page, where
Gotcha.
a little bit of exposition and just so you understand his origin. But yeah, he's definitely one with the water. So there's some of that going on. It's fun. The conflict is great. I really focused on, I need like a really good villain. That was some of the feedback I got with Rise, was that he's not a good enough villain. Like you need more. And I agree, that was correct. And so I really focused on writing some villains that were not one-dimensional, really interesting. So we got this guy Carver, and I think he's possibly one of my favorite characters now, just because he was so fun to write, make sure that he had a lot of complex motivation, and he's crazy enough that he'll cut his own face up if he has to, if it,
Cool.
solves a problem for him. So I think people are going to love it.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to post that, and then let's look at, there we go. Let's see how Earthbound 2 is doing. Wax 3D says, competing against mainstream comics is aiming pretty low right now. Compete against Malin and Zach. You're not wrong. But yeah, I was thinking, what are the best comics? Again, I talked a lot about Frank Miller's Daredevil, and I think that was just such a good time for comics and a great run. And so I thought of what would I do if I was given this opportunity and I needed to compete with this? So I guess mainstream from the 80s is what I was looking at.
Oh, yeah. But that's a cool concept to have that as a guiding little post, to think of it that way. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. But definitely a lot of really great stuff coming out through Comicsgate. It's just fantastic. Yeah, Richard Cahill says, are the BioShock comparisons people make insufferably annoying, Clint? I hear it a lot. I've never played BioShock, so I doubt that the story has anything that resembles BioShock other than there's a diver in it. But I've got to play the game now, so I know, so I'll know for sure. But it's okay. Is Per short for something? There's a question for you.
Oh yeah, that's my real name. It's not a secret or anything, and it's not short for anything. It's a Swedish name. I'm a quarter Swedish.
Okay, nice. I'm Swedish too, not completely, but I've got a chunk of Swedish in there. I don't know what percentage.
Yeah, nice.
Do you guys dance around the Christmas tree? Does your family do that? Your Swedish family?
No, I wish. Now I didn't even know that. They need to get in touch with their roots. I'll yell at them.
Just one of the few things that stuck, I guess, at the Swedish thing, and they like hold hands and walk around the like full on who's, it's strange, but yeah. I don't know, it's there. So all right, Earthbound 2, check it out right now on Indiegogo. I'd love to see this be a 100K campaign. I think statistically speaking, if you hit something like $35,000 by the time it's 48 hours, I think you're in 6-figure range.
Cool.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, striking distance ish. We'll see, but yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I was gonna say quickly too, with the visuals of the underwater, it's kind of fun that it just enters with that into like that subgenre of, like they were saying, compared with, I forget the game,
BioShock. Yeah,
like, because even if it's different, it's just kind of like in that realm where like it's kind of part of that club of those cool visuals.
Yeah, and to be honest, I did kind of rip it off from League of Legends. Just that there's a diver character.
Oh yeah.
And so my brother showed it to me, and I was like, that's a really cool character. I want a diver in mine. But yeah, I actually had a lot of like his origin and just some of the concept of how he came. It just made sense. I love that character. But yeah, it's cool. They're great aesthetics, and I think a lot of people like the old school underwater diving gear. It's pretty fun. So
cool.
All right. So you're still moving along, 431 backers. Honestly, you're going to pass me up, I think, sometime within at most a week, but you could pass me up tomorrow. That's potential. That's amazing. Great job.
Just over time, I want to tie Fatal. That would be.
Oh, man. I think you can do it. I really do. It's possible. We're getting close. I should probably pull that one up too. Why don't I? That one's getting close.
Snogan was posting those videos of his ambidextrous drawing. That is like amazing. He should do that on TikTok. He could go viral like for 1 billion people watching.
Yeah, he did it for apparently like a local Fox News station too. It was like totally random. Around Christmas time, they had him on drawing with both hands, but he's amazing. I don't know how you get a person like Charlie Snogans, like an artist wise. It's just amazing. But yeah, this campaign's doing great. It's so close. I think once the book goes to print, you usually see a bump. So I think it'll hit 6 figures at some point. But right now it's just slow going. But I do see backers trickling in. We got, I think, 2 more today. Yes, cool. Fatal is still up right now. So if you want to back it, it's still available. I'll post a link too if you all are interested.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There it is. Yeah, he's just such a good artist. So cool. And everything's going to be in color. There's the black and white version too that's going to look like this.
So yeah.
Like a little almost sepia tone to it that'll have, basically the grayscale going on, which is cool. But yeah, here's a finished page with Eric's letters. Looks so cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. Speaking of like competing with the mainstream, yeah, the modern mainstream, we're just destroying them, but
it's not even close.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we'll see things are going to keep growing for the businesses grow and then the talent. Cause I remember thinking that a couple years ago that we're growing too. Like you and I are both getting better at drawing and writing, and Charlie, even though he's amazing, he's like getting better. And so everyone's just getting better. And so the future is bright. Yeah.
With him, it's almost like becoming more well established. Is if more people had known about Charlie, a year in advance, or if he had been around like as long as I had or you have, then I think this could have been $200,000 campaign. He definitely wouldn't need me. That's for sure. I don't think he does now at all. But yeah, I think he could be doing campaigns and making a full-time living off of comics. This is amazing. Even just covers. If it came down to him doing covers, I think he could.
Oh yeah,
he could kill it with covers.
Yeah, he could get scooped up by Ethan or Malin or something too for like a side.
Oh yeah,
gig pretty easily.
Yeah, and he did something for your boy Zach, which was amazing too. It was in Jawbreakers too. Yeah, turned out great. Everyone said they loved it. I think people are gonna love this book. So yeah, Charlie's getting back at it, and we've got some high hopes for summertime, I think, with his schedule. So things are looking up. Lone Star Viper says, I just backed Earthbound. All right.
Thank
you.
Star. Yeah.
It's worth refreshing then. Oh, I was too quick on the draw. We'll give it a minute to percolate. I just refreshed it.
Oh yeah. Switched. If you refresh and it doesn't go up, that's the beginning of my come down. I can feel it already.
He needs another hit of dopamine of backing it twice. Wow, there's some one-upmanship right there. I love it.
Thanks, Robert Shepard.
Really cool. Yeah, 83 people watching. I've got to believe that's because Narwhal's here. I haven't been streaming a whole lot lately, and I think I just like the format of a single video, but it is fun to stream. I kind of like just talking too, like make that format where it's like we're just talking about writing. It's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do have some more questions for you. These are not planned. They just came to mind, but I'm drawing. I would love to get better. And I keep thinking I'd love to do a whole book myself. I don't think I'm quite there yet. But what advice do you have for me to get there?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have like maybe two possible angles you could take on it. But one of them that I was thinking is sometimes when you're doing layouts, you can deliberately pick battles that you can win with the layouts. So like, and it could still look really good. Like even if it is like a quote unquote flat angle or something, but if that's like easier for you to draw it for a certain panel, or sometimes a good trick is isometric perspective. Have you heard of that one?
No.
That's where like, it's like video game perspective where every line is parallel. There is no, it's like you're looking down like a satellite on the ground, kind of like, like Diablo. If you ever played Diablo, it's like that perspective. And it takes just a second to switch your brain to be able to draw that way, but that's like easy to learn. And you can pull that out on a page and do isometric perspective, one panel per page. People won't bat an eye. In fact, they actually like it. Like I still try and do that sometimes, even though it feels like cheating because it's so easy to draw, you know, and the perspective is so simple. Every line's parallel. So that's one piece of advice, is like, it's just so easy to learn that you could do that. And then you could kind of like, not bite off more than you can chew, and then it can look really good still. And then I guess the other thing is like, if you want to bite off more than you can chew, then you just have to get better in general. And the best thing to do to improve is like figure drawing and kind of studying perspective. Those two things I think really help you'll improve fast from doing, especially figure drawing.
Yeah.
Helps a lot.
Okay. Nice. Well, that's good advice. I got to look. I've noticed like I'll draw panel layouts and then I get to one panel. Like this is really difficult to draw. In theory, it seemed nice, and then I just have to change it. Like I'm doing something completely different because this is just, I'm never going to finish this page. I'm stuck on this panel.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would do too. And I guess like Mignola is kind of inspiring how he'll do like really controlled detail, kind of like I sort of do this too, but way more messy. But he can draw like a big panel of a badass castle with tons of bats or something. But then if you look at the actual lines that he drew, it wasn't that many and it didn't take him that long. And so like that can kind of help too, of like, because I know for me, I remember how this feels too when you're like, oh crap, I got to draw a castle. You're like, oh, it's going to be like cobblestone. It's going to take me all day just to draw one panel. And if you know some of like the Mignola tricks that can make it less intimidating, that can kind of help too.
Yeah. Black it out.
Yeah. Just black out half of it, draw a couple bricks over here, and people will understand it's a brick wall or whatever.
Right. Yeah. I've learned a lot from reading Hellboy, and I realized Mike Mignola's art's not for everybody. I love it. And part of the reason too is it just seems like an economic way to tell a story, you know. And again, when there's purpose put behind it, you can tell that there's like, I don't know, he's just being intentional about what you are seeing in a panel, then you pay attention to it more. He'll have panels, like several panels that are just individual close-ups of the terrain or texture or something, and then it makes you think like, why is that there? You know, he's trying to paint with all these little graphic images. He's painting a much bigger picture. I think it's fascinating. Yeah,
it is really cool what he does. I know Reagan Lodge is very inspired by him, and I love Reagan's art too. Have you ever talked to Reagan? He's kind of in and around Comicsgate a little bit.
Yeah, well, just like in the chat, I think we might have DM'd once or twice too. It could be wrong, but yeah, never like on a stream or anything. But I think that would be cool to do. So I know he's got a book coming out.
Yeah,
soon too.
Yeah, his book I'm looking forward to. I stream with him once in a while. Yeah, I want to do a stream with like you and him and Vaughn and some other people. We can talk about stories or something, or writing.
Nice. Yeah, that would be fun. I'd love that.
Yeah. I did one a while ago with Adam Friended and Vaughn, and it was like just called like what makes us keep turning the page? And we were just trying to get to the bottom of that. And I rewatched it the other day because it's kind of interesting, like the tricks you can do or whatever, or what makes us want to keep reading and stuff.
Yeah. it's kind of helpful when you have good examples from one. Oh, you talked about on your stream yesterday about subtext, and it made me think of an example from a movie. I want to run it by you. First, Robert Shepard said was having a hard time finding Downcast 1, and then went to Publish and Pete and got 2. 2 Downcast number 1s. Is that what you mean? They're around. Know that issue number 1 is not the same as volume 1. Volume 1 includes issue 2. But yeah, you're good to go if you're following the Alterna books. Gestures are important. Don't worry too much on making it look good or pretty.
Yeah.
The fingers. I don't know. Fingers. Yeah. Good talk so far, guys. All right. Yeah. Okay. So have you seen the movie Jojo Rabbit?
No, I haven't seen it.
It came out. I don't want to spoil it for you then, but there's just a great moment, like subtext, exactly what you're talking about with camera angles. It was purely visual. I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, well, I'll watch it because I've been meaning. I love good movies. Check it out. Ethan's here. Ethan, what's up?
Hey, there's Ethan. Yeah, fellas, it rocks. I just backed you both. Thank you, Ethan.
Thanks.
Really
Ethan.
appreciate it. I also really appreciate you giving shout outs to my campaign on every time you're streaming. It seems like that's been really, really cool of you.
Me too. That's kind of the secret sauce for why I'm doing good, I think, because yesterday it was up to like 10K or something. And then it slowed down just a little bit. And all of a sudden it went really high. I tweeted, something happened and now it's going really fast. And everyone's like, Ethan plugged your book, silly.
Yeah, it was like, I think like midway through the campaign, I thought, okay, I'm going to send out to my mailing list and like do like a mid-campaign kind of push again. So I got the mailing list queued up and I was like, I'm getting like an increase in backers, like an unusual increase in backers. What's happening here? And then I found out it was Ethan was mentioned it on a stream. So it's really cool. So I still sent out the email too, which helped it. I don't know, mid-campaign. I really think there's something to that. If you plan something, I like to do that every time now, is plan something like mid-campaign just to kind of
the mid-campaign doldrums.
Yeah, at least something to look forward to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Would be cool. So yeah, everyone check out Downcast as well as Earthbound on Indiegogo right now. Post this. Here's Ethan. He says, it's Comicsgate. That's what we do. All right. Thanks, Ethan. Really appreciate it. Yeah, comics. Again, we were talking about this. I mean, I was trying to get into comics for years before Comicsgate, trying to get into the anthology route. It's so laughable now when I think about it. Like that's getting published in an anthology is a gateway in, right?
Yeah.
I tried anything. It just seemed like there was no way it was going to happen. And then Comicsgate happened, and they're just people interested in comics and really super willing to give you a shot as a new creator.
Yeah, I love how it's kind of all these flowers growing up from the ground rather than someone at the top down just like curating it. I have some kind of negative experiences of those days of the elites comic people thinking they're better than you or whatever, and stuff like that.
Yeah, no one's making the decision if you get to make comics other than the readers. But yeah, again, there's enough people out there that are interested in it and they want you to get good. You know what I mean? They want it to become something. So it's like, it's very encouraging.
Yeah. By the way, what's up, Eric?
Hey,
how's it going?
Very good.
Can you hear me? Is it coming through?
Yeah.
All right,
sound
cool.
Good. What's going on with you, Eric? Where's my t-shirt, for crying out loud?
Well, you ordered it yesterday, so it should be there, tonight.
Late last night.
Yeah.
I'll be waiting at the doorstep. We'll see what happens.
Bated breath, I bet.
Yeah. Oh man. So your career, Eric, we're kind of talking about we kind of just got started into before Comicsgate, where you were at trying to get into comics, banging your head against the wall versus after. You've been doing comics for a long time before.
A long time. Yeah. I was doing the indie stuff for about 7 years. con scene, indie, Flying Fortress was kind of all I had. I did a couple of, gigs here and there, but that was it. So, and I never really made a lot. It was one con paid for the next one, paid for the next one. It wasn't really any profit in it. Glad I'm not doing that anymore. I'd rather just be on YouTube.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun to go to con for the experience of meeting up. Like, it was really fun to meet with you and Leroy, but I can imagine like it'd be so fun, like just everyone, at a convention. That'd be really fun.
Yeah. I want to do that
the
too.
Con thing though. I just want to hang out.
Yeah, it wouldn't even necessarily have to be a con. I'm going to do one just out of principle because I want to, but
just to have it.
Yeah, it's just an experience I want to have under my belt. But yeah, it doesn't make an awful lot of sense right now when you got the internet. We got 83 people. This could be a panel at a convention easily. 83 people is a good size.
We have like a panel on Comicsgate like every night. Somebody's doing something on some channel somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to set up a kissing booth at the Comicsgate convention.
Ooh. Beard on beard.
A mirror. Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Earthbound Part 2. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have Eric pitch Earthbound.
Earthbound. Oh boy.
On the spot.
Okay. Hey, people, do you like weird art that looks animated but stuck in time, like an hourglass that is frozen solid? I'm not good at pitching somebody else's book. Then you've got Earthbound 2 by Narwhal, former cutter of meats, now full-time comic book creator, and good, sort of well-groomed beard man, but maybe needs a little bit of a trim. There's high action, super fun dance party. Looks like they're having right there.
Dance fighting, dance karate. It looks good. I don't know what's going on there with that blurry thing though. That's confusing. There's a giant snowman. What's that about, Eric?
Yeah. Well, it's a metaphor.
Eric, what's the giant snowman doing there? We
it's
talked
a metaphor for the slowly melting corporate comic book industry.
Oh, it's having the opposite effect.
Oh no.
I appreciate it, Eric.
No problem.
Oh man. Yeah, anything I've got nothing to say to this, but
did you wear like pants that say like "this ass belongs to Slot"?
I know that whole Warren Ellis thing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is high praise. Really great colors, Narwhal.
Thanks,
I stumbled over my words for like 5 minutes trying to express why I like the colors and failed to do so. I could have just said really great colors, Narwhal.
Living life.
But they're great. There's just I don't know. I have a hard time putting my finger on it, so I'm not even going to try to. But yeah, really good stuff. Check out Earthbound Part 2 on Indiegogo right now. It needs to hit 30K because I'm just going to take credit for it. We'll call it the Sweetcast Surge. Does that count?
That counts.
Maybe the Sweetcast Splurge. No. Splooge. No. Surge.
You could splurge. You could splurge on Earthbound. You could splurge on Downcast 3 as well.
Yeah.
I love that these are both these are sequels. We're continuing a series. Well, this is the end, right, for Earthbound?
Yeah. Yeah, and there might be a sequel eventually, but there isn't anything written. But yeah, you're right, because I'm always nervous if you'll lose backers or whatever, like that happens in the mainstream. The first issue always sells the most, then it kind of dips down, and we're keeping our readers, so that's good.
Yeah,
it's interesting
over here.
I think part of it too is you're picking up new readers every time. Like if you've got the first available, like I had to do a reprint, and I'm actually selling a lot more than I thought I was going to sell. I think I'm up to like 300 books now sold of the reprint. So
yeah,
pretty good.
Sir Angus Fungus says, does Narwhal still bake his own bread? Yeah, I got a loaf for you, Angus. I'll mail it to you.
Nice. kind of bread is this? Sourdough? Is it?
DM me your address and I'll mail you a loaf. I don't know what it's called. It's like you bake it in a Dutch oven, so it's like double baked.
Yum.
It's real crispy and kind of white, floury, fluffy.
Does it come in a tube that you have to bust open on the countertop and it's already put together and you just...
No, I can bake those two in unison though. I'll throw one of those in the back while I'm baking the special one.
Yeah.
That's fair. Makes sense.
Good.
432 backers. Congratulations on Earthbound Part 2.
Yeah. Approaching
man,
30K. This is a dream.
Yeah. Well, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to show off a splort. I'm going to bring it over here though first.
Oh my gosh.
Is that okay with you, Eric? Is that a spoiler?
Yeah. Go for it.
The page is actually on a spoiler, but
do you want me to just grab the panel?
Oh yeah. Is that convenient?
Let's just grab the panel. Let me take a screenshot real quick and then I'll
okay,
share.
Cool. Yeah, that's good. That was one thing I was looking forward to. I read through the whole thing and I was like knowing that it was coming. I ended up adding a lot of sound effects that I thought I was going to leave open-ended, and I thought, oh, this is a good one, so I popped them in. So I don't know if I left you any creative room to add to make up new ones.
I normally only rarely do I add them unless I just feel like we need to fill some space or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see. You put this way towards the back.
Yeah. It's like toward the climax of the story.
But it's the largest splort in Comicsgate history.
It's the longest one. It's huge in the panel. I made sure there's nothing else in that panel other than the art and the splort. And Nacho left a lot of room for the splort.
Yeah.
So is a guessing game? Is it a cricket?
A cricket? Like being squashed? No, I don't even know if it'll give it away when you see what it is. In
I don't
a
think
single panel, it's like a close up. But there we go. Yeah, let's add this to the stream.
Oh, gotcha.
Nice. Yeah, he's got it crossed.
A splort. I thought you said sport, and I was like,
sport.
Nice cricket.
Okay, that makes more sense now. I was imagining like, is that the sound? I would think like a crunch when you know.
Yeah, I like this. Wait, so this is Nacho or you?
This is Nacho's drawing.
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah. So it should be good. Yeah,
is that a meme? I want to work a splort into Earthbound 2.
It kind of is
in there.
now.
I'll make it bigger than yours.
No. Eventually it's going to be like a gatefold, fold out like what is it? 9 pages of the Bat Cave that Jim Lee drew in the All-Star Batman.
Oh,
it's just splort across 9 pages with all the artwork drawn into it.
The fold out.
That's the end game of this sound effect.
Yeah, it's going to be like one book in the shape of splort. All the pages just say, all playing no fun makes Jack want to go splort.
One goofy sound effect has taken a life of its own.
Yeah, it has definitely become a meme. So it's like Easter egg. That's why I thought, should I put that one here? Or I was trying to be careful about, because I know it was going to draw attention. I was like, no, what? This is the only place it has to be. So
yeah,
we did it.
It's worth it. It won't break the magic or anything. Yeah.
I think it's in a good place. People will appreciate it. So there it is. All we know is that those are balls. Yeah, possibly. There looks like there's some blood in there. Some, I don't know, other matter. Who knows?
Maybe it just looks like a spaghetti exploded.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking of it in a whole different scale. Like it's 3 planets in a galaxy.
Oh yeah,
a galactic splort.
That's the sound when a star dies. That's the sound
in space. No one can hear you splort.
I'm legitimately wearing my splort shirt right now.
In search for splort. Yeah, that'll be a thing. It'd be interesting to have a whole like Photoshop some kind of a big collage of all the sports that you've done.
Yeah.
It could be interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, good stuff.
Does Battle Brick Road have a splort?
Yeah.
Of course it does.
You know what? It's
Toto's going to speak.
It's kind of like in the sound effect in Star Trek where the X-wing guy dies, that you hear it randomly in other movies because sound.
Yeah, the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah. Ah!
Splort is the Wilhelm scream of Comicsgate.
Yeah.
Once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Every time I hear it now in a movie, it just seems so abrasive.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
it's like it just doesn't belong there. Man, Battle Brick Road is doing really, really well. 81K.
Yeah.
Almost 82K.
Almost
Awesome.
82. And it looks like I've got another backer because it's moved up a little bit. So that's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right.
Post
Whoever that
the
was,
link,
thank
let
you.
People know. Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
When I don't know, you got a t-shirt out.
Mhm.
I ordered that. It's gonna be this. My
Just
question
Scarecrow cut out, the Scarecrow and the Flying Monkey cut out on the front, and the Battle Brick Road logo small on the upper middle back, like a tramp stamp, but between your shoulder blades.
Yeah. So what's the opposite of a tramp? A virtuous
A lady stamp.
young lady. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a cool t-shirt. I'm looking forward to that. I'm still looking forward to the Tin Man. Eventually, when it comes there, it would be awesome to have a Tin Man t-shirt or whatever.
We'll get there.
some
He's
cool
a, he's
Tin Man
he's
stuff.
a he's a book 2 character, so
Yeah. Really, really
yeah,
cool.
man,
Yeah.
I'm literally drawing right now, doing everything I can to get this book out as fast as I can. Speed is of the essence, but also, you know, I got a letter like Starlight Cats in the next couple of days too. So
Yeah. Lots of lettering coming through.
yes, sir.
Do you ever say no to lettering work so that you can get stuff done, or is it like that's a sin?
I wouldn't call it a sin, but I haven't turned anything down except for Little Girl Lethal when I dodged a bullet there.
In hindsight, you really, really did.
Yeah. That's the only job that I remember that I can think. I was like, nah, I can't do it. I've turned down a few things of like pre-press and stuff, but not any big lettering jobs. Just, I mean, it's the job. It's the day job.
Yeah.
So
Pre-press is one of those things that can turn into a much bigger job. I could see, like I was thinking, I'm getting better at pre-press.
mhm.
I think I could start doing pre-press for other people, but I don't know if I'd want to, because any little thing that goes wrong ends up being, well, pre-press, you know, like there's just a ton of stuff you might have to fix. Or
Yeah.
if there's a problem spotted, then you have to go back and do pre-press again, like something that totally wasn't your problem, you know, just something in the book later. And I don't know, it could get hairy for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's its own beast there, that pre-press stuff. But I enjoy it. I like putting books together. Just
Yeah.
both in giving, you know, doing the lettering things so people get to see a book. It's officially a comic book now when the lettering's on it.
Yeah.
And then you know, having a print file. I mean, it's basically a digital comic. There you go. It's good to go.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's finished. Then you're just waiting for the printer after that.
mhm.
Do you know where you're going to go to get this printed? I know you've been talking a little bit, but are you decided?
I haven't decided. I mean, a lot of people continue to go to Mixam and have no trouble at all. I didn't have a great experience the first time around. And I've heard people have trouble with API. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there are dozens of other printers out there. There's a couple local that I wanted to price out too, so I could save on shipping, you know, save like $500 on shipping a pallet of books here
Yeah.
or whatever it would be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's significant. I went the route of trying to find a local printer, and I found one that they're like, we should be able to do it, but they didn't understand the concept of variant covers or like any of the comic stuff. They kept wanting to, I don't know, make it like more like a pamphlet, like all the paper that they were showing me. I'm like, this is fine paper, but it's a boring. Like you can tell this is a pamphlet.
Yeah.
It's not a comic, you know.
Hey, would you like my comic book brochure, please?
Yeah, exactly. It looks like it. Yeah, it should be on a different kind of spinner rack, in a travel agency or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, good stuff. All right, guys. I'm at this point. I have. What else is going on? You guys have any good conversation topics? Chat. Do you have any good conversation topics? I asked such great questions, but I feel like I'm burning out.
That was
let's
a riveting
just enjoy
question.
each other's silence for a little bit.
Yeah, let's just sit here and not talk for 13 minutes.
Yeah. Moment of silence. Were they called Boomer Press? They could have been. They didn't get it. Magical stuff.
I asked a local printer this for Flying Fortress. I got it from Mixam for like $2,000 or $3,000 for 1,000 books, and they wanted like 20 grand. The local printer did, not 2 or 3. I forget what my print run cost, but the local printer was way over the moon in terms of price. I was like, no thanks.
Yeah, that's part of it, is that the price gets ridiculous on some of the printers. It's like, how are you even competing, or do you not want the business? What type of paper are your prints coming on? I think I'm gonna my reprints. Oh, the reprints. Oh, my bad. It's gonna be 80-pound stock. Like it's gonna be nice satin paper. 80-pound stock. It'll be a nice book. It'll be, I think, if you got Monster MD, it's gonna be pretty darn close to those exact specs. So it won't be quite as thick of paper as you got on Downcast Volume 1 and 2, but I think that was a little overkill, honestly. It was too thick. So yeah, should be a nice book, but it'll be not cardstock. All right, great idea from the chat. We're gonna look up on America's government comes clean about UFOs. This is important.
It is important. It's the topic of our day.
I love that this is the picture they went with. This is breaking news that came out 1 hour ago. Here we go. This is the headline. Did you guys see anything about this with UFOs at all? Have you been following this?
Yeah, I saw them come out and give like this half-assed report about, there's things out there that we don't know what they are.
To me, it came to the same conclusion. Like, okay, well, you've just acknowledged, like, whereas before, I guess they would just deny that anything was there. Now they're going to acknowledge that, it's something we don't know.
It's the next step, and then after that, they're gonna, officially better photos and it's been us all along or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to know what Alex Jones has to say. I feel like it's like a distraction. And the one I remember, there's a lot of online the conspiracy theorist type people I follow. They will say that it's a false flag and that what's real is the Nephilim, the like fallen angels, but it's not aliens. Aliens is fake. Nephilim is real, and it's in Antarctica.
Nephilim? I've never even heard of this.
That's it's one. Like I don't know. I don't know if you got like, because with aliens too, they have terms like there's the tall grays or the tall whites, and then there's the grays.
Yeah,
and there's the lizard people.
Yeah, and I think the whites are Nephilim, maybe, or the tall whites, supposedly.
So everybody knows it's a distraction from the audit, from the election audits. That's all.
That's the real conspiracy.
Yeah. That's why they let Bill Cosby out of prison. It's all a distraction.
Yeah. That's another story too. Holy cow! On a technicality, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm so confused. I saw a video of some of this stuff, and I was expecting to see something awesome. And I swear I've seen those videos before. Like, I've already seen them. They look just like
been around forever.
Oh yeah,
for years.
Hey guys, I have a quick question from Blue Samurai Zero. He goes, "I came in late. Will story arcs be their own jumping on points, or will readers need to get 1 and 2?" Yeah, for the story, if you get 2 and don't have 1, you kind of have to read part 1. The 2 of them are one story together, and then in the future, there's going to be like a sequel story, and that will be more standalone too, and a couple spin-offs I'm thinking about too, stuff like that.
Absolutely. So yeah, don't forget, this is the reason of the season, and that is Earthbound 2. So we're gonna post that again. But this is related. UFOs and Earthbound. I could see some.
There's a crossover. See, it feels like.
Yeah, maybe Narwhal has the truth, and it really was just.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I started Earthbound, and then I had like almost a philosophical revelation where I was like, I don't know if I want to tell sci-fi stories where people go from planet to planet. I'd rather tell sci-fi stories where they go from like realm to realm. And so I'm trying to shift Earthbound more in that direction. And that's just like, that's kind of the end of my little.
That's a difficult thing to do, pivot while you're making it.
Yeah.
We've done that.
Retconning it and stuff.
Yeah.
Earthbound, the sequel has a lot to do with reincarnation. There's some good sci-fi ideas about that. And it's hinted at in this one.
So here's an explanation from Blue Samurai Zero. The theory is that from Genesis 6. Oh, yeah. We're talking biblical. Demons are the dead souls of hybrids, Nephilim. Okay, I've heard, what's his name? Alex Jones talk about the animal hybrids. Is that the same thing? I don't know. And the demons masquerade as aliens. So they're demons.
Or like the demons are saying that they're aliens, but they're not.
Angels that bred with women created the Nephilim, and they're the ones. They're like half angel. That's what it is.
Oh,
that's what he's trying to get at.
That sounds
fallen angels, demons. Yeah,
likely. I don't know. Probable.
Yeah, they're out there.
Yeah, the truth is out there.
Truth is out there. Yeah.
There are some crazy unverified stories though out there, or like with, I don't know, crazy stories. All right, well, let's look at this. So between 2004 and 2021, that's now, American military pilots registered 144 reports of unidentified aerial phenomena. Now, all of these have just been taken by shaky cam footage, or like you can never tell what it is. It doesn't tell me anything. The government, I don't know if I want to read this whole thing. It turned out to be a balloon in one case. No one's going to believe that.
Nobody believes that.
The others are a mystery.
I've seen balloons in my life, and they don't look like UFOs.
They don't look like balloons. These UFOs didn't even look like UFOs. They looked like pyramids to me, like flying pyramids.
See?
They probably do represent physical objects. So how could they not represent a physical object? Yeah, well, we've seen video, right? So it can't be a figment. That's it. That's all we have. I'm not signing up to this website.
You should. We need to read more about it.
Let's look at this one. The conversation. Here we go.
This is the Tic Tac.
This is the video.
Okay. This thing went from like, I don't know, like 30,000 feet to like sea level in like less than a second.
I'm gonna leave the sound off just in case.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So this is what we're looking at. I think we're gonna see some video here. There we go. The Tic Tac.
So they were able to track it, but it was avoiding all of the radar and it was avoiding all of their.
It was a tick that landed on the camera.
It changed direction. And
it's some private who forgot to clean the lens for maintenance.
That'd be funny. I'm no pilot, but they got a lock on it here. I remember that. Like, we have a lock on it, so that must mean it is actually a physical object, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Now the theory is that a lot of these things are under the ocean, like like the abyss or whatever, and that's how fast it's traveling, so fast that like it's man-made impossible. But there are theories that they're called unidentified submerged object, USOs, and that's where they come from. Like the aliens are here, but they live under the ocean because it's so vast you can't be found.
Yeah.
You're God dang it, what's the actor's name? I don't remember. From The Abyss. He played Jackson Pollock. He looks like Erwin Rommel. What's his name? Ed Harris.
Ed Harris.
Harris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Abyss. Yeah, that's probably true. I'm gonna go with everything. Jay Potts has explanations, so he said it's a bird, it's a plane. Could be. I mean, I don't know. Blue Stamp, we have 2 that say it's a plane, so maybe it is.
Maybe.
You know, I don't know. I don't know if it matters. I don't care. Is that okay? What's more fascinating to me? Have you heard that story about? I think it was in Afghanistan. The soldiers that found a giant. Did you hear about that? The red-haired giant. You not heard about this?
You got to
That
look this
sounds
up.
cool.
We got to see what this is.
Okay.
This is
I like giants.
we're getting into Patrick Thomas Parnell. Red-haired giant, and we're getting into his territory here.
Giant of Kandahar. That's what we're talking about here.
If they make a movie about it, they're going to recast the giant as a black woman.
Oh,
He's
'Cause
redhead.
it was red hair. It's just it's the way that it has to go. I want to see the picture. Maybe I'll have to look at the picture. So apparently they said a bunch of Navy SEALs or Rangers, maybe Army Rangers, some special forces unit. They're like, hey, there's something going on up here, and they go up this hill, and then all of a sudden a giant spear flies out of this cave and kills. So there is on record one of these guys from this unit was killed in action. So it's like there's that much evidence. Then some of the soldiers involved, I guess they killed this giant. I gotta find a picture.
You got to find this for us, man.
What? This
careful
sounds
with that.
cool.
This is it.
Oh,
This
that's
is
authentic.
it's a recreation. They don't have any pictures, but the U.S. government has denied it. But
Of
one
course
soldier
they have.
has died. They said they loaded it up. You can't. This is not a very close picture. Let me see if this is slightly bigger. Yeah, they loaded him up, put him in a tarp, and loaded him onto a plane, and they towed him off. We don't know where it went.
They stored him on the base in Antarctica.
This is all connected. That's what I'm led to believe.
It's
No,
all
I listened to an account that was supposedly a firsthand from one of the one of the soldiers in the unit, and they had his face blurred and everything. And
They were talking like this.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He explained the whole thing, but they got pictures. I mean, come on.
Yeah, clearly.
Recreations. I'll go with that. Yeah, this
What's
was the
that
other
one
one.
there?
I saw. Which
man.
one?
That's the one I wanted you to click on. You clicked on.
Oh yeah,
it.
this one. This is him jumping out. I don't remember them saying he had a shield, but maybe he
Yeah,
did.
I like that he came prepared to deflect bullets.
Right. He was out there for war. But at the same time, a soldier was killed in action.
He looks like Robin
on
Williams in Jumanji after he's lived in the jungle for however many years, and what year is it? And he comes out and he just murders a bunch of soldiers.
Totally does. Yeah. So we're breaking news here tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Everyone said, Clint, you talk about too much drama, and so I'm leaning into it. This is drama. Like you've never
Someone
seen
died.
before.
Yeah.
Someone died. Yeah. And the government won't come clean about it, or the demon alien hybrids. So speaking of, I'm not sharing this on Twitter. I'm going to share the link Earthbound Part 2 right now on Indiegogo. I'm going to post the link here again. Please do check it out, back it, help it reach new heights. I don't know. Do you want to tell us something else, Narwhal, about Earthbound that you need to get to, or not necessarily a pitch, but you could pitch it,
Yeah, no, just I'm excited that it's coming out and it's gonna finish the story. I started it when I was 30. I'm 35 now. And the two editions together are gonna be 240 pages. So, and it's based on a script that's like 130 pages. So it feels like a movie, kind of. It's like structured like a movie, and this just kind of completes it. So people like it. It got good reviews, Some people it really connected with. Some people is their favorite of the year or whatever.
Very cool. It's off to a super strong start. Narwhal's a really good creator. Everything I've read, I still need to read 499. Again, it's right there. I will read it. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, always good stuff from Narwhal. So check it out.
Yeah, thanks.
I do have a question in the chat. This could be a good place too. I'm gonna refresh her, even though I think it's
yeah, I see this.
There we go.
Question from Lupo, maybe.
Yep, that's it. Would any of you consider writing an ongoing for Boom or Dynamite if offered? There's a good question. No, I don't think so. My answer would have been different probably a year ago. I actually did send in some when things seemed like Dynamite was like just doing business. I thought, hey, I want to write something for them, and so I was actually talking to Dynamite. Talked to an editor there, back and forth a little bit, and I thought, oh, this could be cool. I could get some street cred. You know, they've actually been published in. I mean, it's mainstream, but it's, you know what I mean. And then I realized they would throw it. It wouldn't work. So
I got a serious question that doesn't sound serious, but do you think they could afford us?
You think? Oh, because they would make so much money off of us that why would we go with them?
Well, I mean, you know, we just what you see with like Ninjak and all that, and that person probably got paid $20 a page. Like,
yeah,
the dwindling page rates the way they are, and how much money we can make on our own just doing a crowdfunding.
Right. Well,
you know what I'm saying? Would it be worth it for us to do it?
The more I've thought about it, I think, I mean, from a writing perspective, drawing would be completely different because that's such a massive time commitment.
Yeah.
But I think if I was to write something, my thinking at the time was, well, this will give me more experience. I can, then, say I've been published by Dynamite, and it just gives me more
profile,
more credibility. You know what I mean? Like maybe people will back my campaigns more. Like it would just be, for the greater good. But after looking to it, it'd be like you wouldn't get paid anything. You know what I mean? It'd be more for the writing credit is what it would be for. But again, like currently right now, I'm just like, nope, I'm only interested in just doing my own stuff. So
yeah,
even if I had an offer from DC or something, which I don't, and I never will, but if I did, I don't know. Doesn't excite me. I'm so jaded now with it. But Narwhal, what's your answer?
Yeah, it's kind of like yours. I was thinking like I'd consider it for like a minute, but I think I'd say no because I want to keep the money. And it's like we got lucky kind of that we didn't break into the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me too, there was a point where I was working on that like Middle East medic memoir comic, and that one wrapped up. And then I pitched that company, Foreign Agent, and they told me, they're like, we all love it here, and we think it's super cool, but we're just going to go in another direction. And I was kind of thinking like, oh, do they find out I'm a straight white male or something or whatever?
Yeah.
And so after that is when I like went full on into Comicsgate, and then they called me and told me to stop, and I told them to fuck off. And then
they called you to tell you to stop.
Yeah, they're like, don't associate with these people. And the way they said it too, that he's like, we don't like to be ones to tell you what to do, but
but we're gonna tell you what to do.
Yeah, and he's like, he called a girl a cum dumpster. They were talking about your boy Zach, whatever. Yeah. And then like, because if you sit down, you can explain, like I've explained to my parents that situation. I'm like, she was fucking with him, and then he said that about her. She was like trying to get his business taken down and get him to kill himself. She was doing the SJW tactics. Right. So,
well, and to pretend, he also said it in a private. I kind of want to watch it just so I can say I have, but I've never seen the Dark Roast. But it was in the Dark Roast, which was a private kind of thing too.
Yeah.
And I think, what are they saying in those Discord servers that Rich Johnson was talking about? Like, they all say terrible things.
Yeah.
They do.
So yeah, you're right though. We were kind of lucky because when you see all these comic book creators that are so desperate to keep their position, Like what even if it's nothing, like they were published years ago, but they still are holding on to the hope. It's like they're desperately trying to be acceptable enough to the industry, and we just don't have to worry about that. It's like no publisher is going to be offering, I don't think, any of us anything, but it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Great question though. That was a good.
That is a good question. I was asked if I finished a book, and the creator of it asked me if I would ever do mainstream, and I was like, yeah. I mean, for me, it's never been being against it, but for me, it's gonna come down to the page rate, because
getting paid.
Yeah, I got kids to feed. That's my main priority.
Right.
I'm a working artist.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, along those lines, I guess, I don't know, would I take a job? I'm not interested in seeking out a job. The part that worries me, honestly, is that if I were to, would they then want to control everything else that I'm doing?
Yeah, if they were like, we'll hire you, but you have to, denounce CG or whatever. They're like, nah, never mind, I'm good.
No, yeah, that would be dumb. I don't know.
Throw the people under the bus that made my career. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's see how that works out for you. No, yeah, and if the truth is, then they would denounce you. You know what I mean? If they were asking you to do that, they're going to denounce you next week. So, yeah. Rasmus says the dark roast is very meh, more like mild roast.
A good medium roast.
Yeah, I don't know.
A good Dunkin' Donuts blend.
Now I want donuts. Yeah, great question. Any other questions from the chat? You guys all, I mean, I'm sure there's great questions out there. Oh, that's cold. Yeah, I mean, there's never, just looking at this one, it's just not a good idea. The mainstream industry doesn't really have anything to offer. I would bet that if I put my self out there and said, hey, my resume, and said, hey, I want to write for hire. I'm not running campaigns or anything, but I'm looking to write. I bet I could get a couple jobs writing. And by that, I mean is in indie comics. I bet I could do that because I've had people reach out to me. Yeah. And I wrote that Silver Streak story. I'm writing Dracula. Like, those are existing characters. So it kind of, scratches that itch to like write some existing IP. But would I need to write Spider-Man? No. I mean, I honestly, I don't even know what else I would do as Spider-Man at this point. So, or any other characters, really.
Yeah.
Here's a question from Danny Agent. What are the next projects for you all? Eric, you want to start?
Yeah, I've got a few on the horizon. Obviously, we're going to continue Battlework Road into 2, 3, and 4. Maybe beyond that, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm doing a project with Aldous and Sierra Whiskey called Savage Wilds. It's sort of a Secret of Nim meets Lord of the Rings. Nice. And that's going to be, we'll be seeing that after Battlework Road 2. We're going to start production on that. We've done some preliminary, like, concept design stuff. And then Vaughn and I are working on something in the background, tentatively titled Project Battle Axe.
Sweet.
And that's going to be a while. So in the meantime, everybody else's book that I'll be lettering that I'm happy to do. And maybe more, but nothing to announce yet. You should scroll down. There's new artwork posted.
Oh, nice.
Nice. For me, I might launch a small campaign while Earthbound 2 is even in demand. And it will be, I'm still talking to Brendan Swan, but it'll be Brendan Swan's book. And I'll do it like as a Narwhal Presents. And I'm still just kind of thinking about this because it's a little bit weird to do this, but Ethan kind of does it, and your boy Zach does it, and I'm with me, and I'm like, I could do it on a much smaller scale for Brendan, but just like, because this book, it's one of my favorites, and it sold 50 copies, and I'm like, I think let's try and like maybe I'll market it for you. We'll do it on my channel and see if you sell any more, and I'll take a very small percentage, but just see how that goes. So we might do that, and then after Earthbound 2 fulfills, is Nosferatu, that'll come out in 2022, which is the 100th anniversary of the Nosferatu film. So, and I didn't plan that, but that's like pretty sweet.
Very serendipitous.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, it's I really want to turn the focus on Dracula as far as what I'm writing and starting production. You're not going to see Dracula for a while though, because we got production to do. Not only that, but I really think I've got to get Fatal finished. So
yeah,
I'm at the point right now where it's like, I mean, most of it, the work's on Charlie's shoulders. So, we're kind of just going with it, but I suspect that the end of this year is going to be really focused in on Fatal, but I will be writing Dracula. That'll be the next campaign to go off, I think. And then, yeah, we'll see from there. Silver Streak, I know, is coming out pretty soon, and so I think that he'll be launching like the next one sometime. I might open myself up to do more writing for other people under the stipulation that I'm not crowdfunding it. That's a whole other ball of wax. Like writing is a different that thing. So, but that's where I think I'm at. So. Let's see. Narwhal, did you at least loot once when you were at Portland? Oh yeah.
No, but Portland's crazy though. Yeah, and I'm glad to be out of there. They got a lot of weird stuff going on.
Where are you at now?
Just in my hometown in Washington State on the peninsula.
Oh, okay.
But it's like a small town, so it's a little different. But Portland was locked down too, and
yeah,
I don't know, but I'm enjoying being back around. I'm pretty close to my parents, so I hang out with them. They have an HBO subscription, so I watch their HBO.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, Fresh Prince on.
What was that?
I said you got to get your Fresh Prince on. That's on HBO.
Oh yeah. I would love to do that. I used to watch so much of that back in the day.
So another question, Narwhal and Clint, do you already have an original name for your Dracula books? It's a great question. I'll say for me, I think I have to call it Clint Stoker's Dracula.
You do.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, because that's sort of the point. It's like building it around that title. So I've thought like I could do Dracula 2021 or something, but I think that then becomes something different. So
and for mine's just Nosferatu, and Clint wrote the Ford too.
I'm excited about that. That was the first time I was asked to write something like supplemental like that, so that was really fun to do. So thanks Narwhal.
Yeah, no problem.
Colors look great for Eric. Yeah,
thanks, man.
Really great pages.
Yeah, that's Vinicius Townsend. A great find.
Nice. Very cool. Is that the name of the Nosferatu story, as in the sketchbooks, or refined, redone?
Yeah, it's just in the sketchbooks, and I might clean up. And the sketchbooks actually have some like typos and stuff. I'll fix all that. Put it all three in one collection. It'll be 66 pages, and I think I want to get some like pinups, because Nosferatu's pretty like easily pin-upable, just from artists in the community. A little gallery. I think just a 66-page comic with a gallery would be a cool, and like maybe, but probably not, maybe like one short comic if anything comes up. But I was going to say me and Clint have talked a little bit about something like that, where we could do a little short comic that would go in both books, maybe.
Be a crossover. That would be really fun. I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
Zevia says, totally looking forward to Dracula, Clint. That'll be dope. I'm excited about it. The more I've thought about it, I think I've got some really good ideas for it. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to getting to it. And a big thing, well, Ethan mentioned last time I was streaming in the chat was like, you need a good character design. I think you're totally right.
Yeah.
I'm learning that's huge. Like the more one of the big things through comics is I've been thinking like I designed Joanne as a character, the character design years ago. And then I had it gave it to Nacho. And then I think, man, like there's something to be said for a character that people want to draw for fun. You know, it'll stick in their memory. And so, yeah, I want to make that a big, important part. So, but yes, thank you, Xevious. Bring in Brendan on a live stream to showcase his work. We'll say an
Oh
hi.
yeah, I'll definitely do that.
Yeah, with the Nosferatu film anniversary, will there be more vampire books coming from you guys?
With that one, when I mentioned I co-wrote with Nathan Chen a little bit, because I have been on a little kick, and we wrote a Nosferatu just like separate adventure that's treating him more as like a public domain figure, not based on like the movies or anything. And it takes place in like the year 1200, more medieval. So it's like a prequel, I guess. But yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I was saying it's going to be like a vampire revival. It'll be the vampire revival that Twilight could not be. You know, this will be the way that vampires should be. It'll be the next big thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you see Shadow of the Vampire? I have not seen that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw it a long time ago. I don't really remember.
Her Nosferatu does not enjoy being pinned. Not with a stake, probably. Though, I don't know. That rules are a little different, I think. Anyway, check out Earthbound Part 2. Post this again. Live on Indiegogo. Narwhal, so do you have other streams you're doing tonight? Is that correct, or is it not?
Yeah, I gotta get going pretty soon. In like an hour, I'm gonna hop on Jack's show, I think.
Oh, cool. Nice. That'll be great. Downcast 3 Submerged. We are extending the campaign, and I'm always nervous about getting like how close to get down to the wire because I don't want to accidentally miss it and then just go in demand. That would be terrible. So I'm going to extend it a little bit early. But yeah, it should be good. I'm actually kind of starting to hit a wall, guys. I know that's lame, but I don't think I'm going to go for the whole next 4 hours.
You're hitting a wall like Monstro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just like this. That's exactly what I'm doing. But yeah, it should be good. Also, Battlebrick Road, seeing new art. The cool thing, when I went and visited Eric, I got to see your workspace. You're so organized, which is good. I need to be more organized, I think.
Yeah, clean your room.
I know, man.
I got to do that too.
Peterson proud.
It's not just like cleanliness. It's down to like every single one of your templates, your drawing templates, circle templates have a place, which is great. But the other cool thing was seeing your art in person was really fun. Just like original art, it's just not the same when you see an image of it versus when it's in person. It's totally different.
It's not. There were times when I would look at a page, I'd finish it like years ago. I'd finish a page and think, this looks great. I'm very happy with it. And then I'd scan it, and it would just feel like, what did I just draw? This is horrible. There's something about original pages that just pop in a way that digital art just I've not seen come anywhere close to it.
It's great. And you're selling original pages, right? Are you selling them on your campaign? Yeah.
Yeah, I am. And we've got half the books pencil, half the books ink. So you've got a couple of different options. And I think there's less than 5 available of each. There's like 2 of one and 3 of the other, or 3 of one and 4 of the other, something like that.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm working. I'm trying to get this book done as fast as I can with as highest quality as I can muster.
Well, it looks great so far. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This will be a fun book. So very cool. Everyone check it out. All 3 of those on Indiegogo right now. I think I'm going to wrap up the stream because I'm getting tired. But I appreciate both you guys for coming on. And Narwhal, good luck with the rest of your campaign.
man.
I've got high hopes for you.
Yeah, thank you. I had a lot of fun. Good talking to you guys, and thanks, Chad.
Yeah, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, we'll do it again for sure. All right. Thanks, everybody. And I will see you in another video. Bye, everyone.
Good night.